I just attempted to record this song, and my laptop is hacked, my computer is hacked, my phones are wiretapped, my BCI implant is wiretapped by the Pentagon and the United States government over taxpayer-funded satellites. And while I tried to record the song, it's called "Wait Here" by Mick Flannery, and it certainly speaks to just how just the moral and social decay, political and decay that it's been on a steady decline ever since George Bush, at least. And there's a very good reason why George Bush did not sign the Rome Statute, which would have made us a party to prosecution under the Rome Statute. However, because these are international crimes, the Office of High Commissioner of Human Rights at the United Nations in Geneva, Switzerland, and the WHO, the World Health Organization, both still have power and investigative and prosecution jurisdiction in these matters. Although once Merrick Garland is removed from his seat at the Department of Justice, I believe that a lot of these are going to be tried on a federal level. So I'm going to try this again. And I'm going to sing this. This is for the High Commissioner of Human Rights, Her Excellency, Dr. Michelle Bachelet. And Dr. Bachelet, before you get offended, please know that I'm not dedicating this to you because it's about you, but it talks about the social decay and the just how unconscionable and despicable these human parasites really are. And I hope that you will take this into consideration as you're reviewing all the evidence that's been previously submitted, and also the World Health Organization, because these people are at least in part, well, I don't see how you can even say in part, responsible, because COVID-19 and all those variants did not start in China. The death toll right now, I know that they recently changed that the feds recently changed the data, at least on the BBC site, to show that there was not such a great disparity, such a great disproportionately statistically higher rate of the death toll in the United States than any other country. They actually bumped India up almost right underneath us, and then it's bullshit. And in fact, before the recent outbreak in Shanghai, I've got it on my phone, I've got a screenshot. Someone called me and warned me before this outbreak ever occurred in Shanghai that it was going to happen. And that's absolutely irrefutable proof that that COVID-19 was not a natural disaster. It's an intentional bioterrorism genocide. Over 6 million people. F-15 scream across the sky. Christmas guided missiles fly. It plows into a market square. 100 roses take the air. I know you didn't know. No, you didn't know. Nobody told you so. Lay that child down at your feet. Watch her burn now, watch her scream. When she's done, there's plenty more. Her brother's waiting at the door. I know you didn't know. No, you didn't know. Nobody told you so. Wait here. Wait here, I thought I heard the ground a-groaning. Wait here, I'm going into town to warn 'em. What I did find on my way was hell's own gates have opened. For what it's worth, I'm pretty sure that it's for you they're coming. Well, I've got Men in Washington coming up next. Big old hat on, little man, scrubbing blood stains from his hand. Gotta get 'em fast. Feed 'em drugs, a little low on gas. I know you had to go, know you had to go. Daddy done told you so. Gonna hold that chainsaw up again. Fuck this earth up at both ends. Mother Nature's COVID cough. One of these days she's gonna shake us off. I know you didn't know. No, you didn't know. Nobody told you so. Wait here. Wait here, I thought I heard the ground groaning. Wait here, I'm going into town to warn them. What I did find on my ways, hell's own gates have opened. For what it's worth, I'm pretty sure that it's for you they're coming. I want to first talk about something that hit very close to home with me. Several months ago, I was almost murdered in a conspiracy that included Beaufort Memorial Hospital. And when I was taken there on an illegal judicial probate order for involuntary mental health assessment, which I did not need, was certainly a violation of South Carolina statutes, the deputy intentionally, once I was put into one of these mental health assessment rooms, spoke out to Dr. Mark Mercer, and he did it, and he absolutely did it. No, perhaps he did not know I had a BCI neural implant that was recording this, but Dr. Mercer knows, and whoever told that deputy to say this, he knew too, and he did. And what the deputy said was, "This is Kristen Boyd Meter. She is a paranoid schizophrenic." Well, of course, that's not true, and the reason that he did that, I don't have a lot of criminal justice. I'm kind of, learning on the fly here. But he wanted to document that over this BCI neural implant, that Dr. Mercer did not know who I am. Of course, Dr. Mercer does know who I am because I've been on his ass ever since I found out that he's the one that's responsible for Luke having, my nephew Luke, when he was 8 months old, having 8 and 10-minute grand mal seizures after Dr. Mercer implanted him with a BCI neural implant in conspiracy with the Pentagon and DARPA and my own family as a part of this racketeering group. So he did that because he wanted, like I said, he wanted to well, here's the thing. Dr. Mercer, he's going to be facing the death penalty. But he's not, it's kind of iffy if he was going to face the death penalty for what he did to Luke. What he's going to face the death penalty now for is conspiracy to murder a federal RICO witness, me. And Merrick Garland has been real careful, and boy, has he been cleaning up just like, I don't know, like June Cleaver or Hazel all over the place to try to erase the information off the internet that attempted murder on a federal RICO witness in some cases is a death penalty. Well, I have seen more federal RICO crimes than any witness in history. I guarantee you, Merrick, that's not going to do you any good either, considering you threatened my life. And that's, threatening or intimidating, threatening a federal RICO witness in some cases is the death penalty. And I guarantee you it's in this case. Now, when I got to that ER, I handcuffed to that stretcher all night, illegally as hell. Mark Mercer, I told him, I said, hey, Mark Mercer, this one's for Luke. This one's for Luke. And now, Mark Mercer, it is for Luke, because you're going to die now. You're going to receive the death penalty for attempted to murder me. Now, everybody goes, what? Wait, did she get sick with COVID-19 while she was in the hospital? Yes. However, my COVID-19 swab was negative in the ER. I want to know how many people were swabbed subsequently after that on that 2 East unit. How many people were swabbed with a test that supposedly tests for not only COVID-19, but 19 other viral pathogens that could be detected, and why would they do that anyway? I wanted to see those records of how many other people were swabbed on that unit after a negative swab in that ER. Well, here's the thing. The feds tried to back off of that so that they could mitigate their responsibility in that attempted murder. But after I came down supposedly with COVID-19 and was transferred to the medical floor, someone caused me to be unconscious for a couple of days over this BCI neural implant. So nobody locally had the remote for that. So that was military. That was United States military personnel that did that. So the Pentagon didn't mitigate anything in that. And also, I did regain consciousness twice. One time I noticed that my pulse ox was 62%. The other time my body temperature was 106.1. Both of those are true medical emergencies. With a pulse ox of 62% with COVID-19, they should have coded me immediately, intubated me, and put me in the intensive care unit on a ventilator so that I did not have hypoxia, which caused brain damage, multiple organ damage, or death. Also, a temperature of 106.1 is also a true medical emergency. And so over that BCI implant, both of those were recorded. Absolutely no medical intervention that is appropriate happened. So that's attempted murder, and there's absolutely nothing you can do to ever get out of that. And as far as saying, well, she was sedated, first of all, why in the hell would you sedate someone with COVID-19 so they could not turn, cough, and deep breathe by themselves? Secondly, why didn't anybody else tell me to come in there and say, hey, you need to turn, cough, and deep breathe? Now, the nursing assistant that put a nasal cannula oxygen on my face with a pulse ox of 62%, she's going to have to testify in this, because she's going to have to testify as to who she reported that 62% in. She actually did something, but it was inadequate, but it was probably the only thing that she could do within her job description and without licensure. So that pretty much sums that up, Mark Mercer, Karen Carroll, Mary Hill, and yes, I did set you up. I danced in the day room on the mental health unit because I knew you were going to try to slap a bipolar diagnosis on me. However, there's only one of 3 bipolar diagnoses that have psychotic features. And considering another false imprisonment that I had in Northern Virginia at Dominion Hospital, they had a dance and music therapy group. So I want, Mary Hill, if you think that's enough to try to pin a bipolar 1 on me, then you ought to go out to a disco and carry some lithium with you and some folks, with some handcuffs, and see if you can't go ahead and diagnose everybody else, that likes to dance and likes music as being bipolars as well. Now, considering you did that on that same trip that I almost died, that Gifford Memorial almost murdered me, then Mary Hill, you're going to be tried for attempted murder and federal RICO witness too. And with all the false imprisonments, false imprisonment is a crime against humanity. And Karen Carroll, same thing for you. I don't see much hope for you, Mark, or Carol. And that was for Luke, because you sealed your fates when you did that. And those that are continuing to block me from Luke, when his life is in imminent grave danger, there's absolutely no way that the people that were allowed to illegally adopt him by Doug Novak, there's no way that they're taking him for the expert pediatric neurological care that he needs. Why? Because it would expose the BCI neural implant. So every single day that his life is endangered, that's a really, really, really big problem for all of you and him and me. As far as the COVID-19 goes, such care has been taken for people to come back and cover up and destroy all the evidence that could have possibly redeemed you between there being an intent and an actual genocide conspiracy. Now, I do have information that perhaps could provide a shadow of a doubt between all of you actually being guilty of conspiracy to, well, intent, maybe a pseudo genocide versus true COVID-19 genocide. I'm not sharing that with anybody. I'm not sharing it with a soul except Her Excellency, Dr. Michelle Bachelet at the United Nations in Geneva and the World Health Organization. So, and if anything happens to me, my son, my daughter, my nephew, Jeff, David Alvin, and also David Alvin's children were threatened yesterday. So, that goes in the mix too. I'm just about ready to forget that little element of a doubt that I have. And I just want you to all know that. The best possible thing that you can do now is absolutely unobstruct me and make sure that the United Nations and the World Health Organization in Geneva, that you cooperate with them fully. Save us and perhaps yourselves. But Mark Mercer, Mary Hill, Karen Carroll, y'all are done. Y'all are done. You're not the only ones, but I will give absolutely no quarter to anybody at Meaford Memorial Hospital, especially after you conspired several months ago to murder my Chloe. And that was also a murder with beds connected to her BCI implant. And I just can't imagine that anybody checked with CIA Director Burns before y'all kill Chloe. So no quarter on that either.